So remember we talked about our essential questions last week, and we said, you guys said you wanted to have understanding, success, balance, all of that, remember? So remember, while you're teaching each other, that you're going to want to make sure you put in as much into it as you would like to get out of it, okay? So you should be doing everything you can to make sure that you're being the best teacher you can so they can be the best learner they can. Does that make sense?
In my teaching career, I've taught math at many levels, from the lowest levels at the start of high school to the highest levels before graduation. One constant that always struck me as challenging was engaging students in the content. And while our topics usually had real-life applications, there was somewhat of a disconnect in finding the applications that were relevant and meaningful to the students. So I started by taking a look at our essential questions. And through this process, I asked the students what was important to them. And their responses included family, health, success, their futures, predicts and scores and their GPA, balance and understanding. And as a teacher, I was really impressed at how forward-focused their list was and how it included things such as understanding and balance. Knowing what their goals were helped me to realign my goals and how I would like to see my students and my classroom progress moving forward. So sequentially, I challenged the students to take responsibility of their learning by just taking control and leading. So we began to engage elements of the solution and collaboration fluencies. And by separating the class into small groups, I gave each student a standard or part of a standard for them to unpack. They were able to define what the standard was asking for and discover ways to approach the problems. Students were able to select or create their own examples of how they may see the standard in problem-solving situations. Within the groups, the students, they were responsible for delegating their own tasks and organizing their roles and to create and present their standard. The groups created presentations through multiple platforms. The collaboration fluency came in to play quite strongly here.
Okay, we're gonna do one with you guys. So I just taught you algebraically and she taught you GDC. So we're gonna do the question number 3 algebraically on the board and you guys check with their calculators, okay? So number 3.
So when I was trying to find out ways to study for my IB classes, I decided to go ahead and research, and I found out about the Feynman technique, which is learning the information you need to get familiar with and teaching it to others. The benefit of this is you're more aware of your deficits in knowledge, and it allows you to go back and study them. So we started to apply this in our schools called Solution Fluency, and it truly is a great technique.
If it was -2, you can assume a +2, and then it becomes negative.
Are you, did you show that?
No, then I feel like you make it 0 and then like solve for.
So each group was responsible of teaching certain lessons relating to quadratics. So my group was responsible of teaching the 3 quadratic forms, which were vertex, factored, and standard form. I was personally responsible of teaching vertex form, and we had to sort of teach the characteristics, the axis of symmetry, what the graph would look like. However, something I found pretty challenging was actually teaching in an understandable way for my classmates, for them to understand it easily.
So these were things that you should have unpacked when you were looking at the standard, yes? Yeah. Finding an equation, given a graph, solving quadratics, using GDC and algebraically. There's one group had a really, really good example of how to use the GDC to solve it when they have enough information, but they didn't actually do it that way. So make sure you're actually answering the question. We need to talk about what we did today that we can improve on next time.
Communication, clear communication.
Okay, clearly communicating.
In terms of timing, I felt like we weren't
Time
prepared for how
time awareness. Good. Anyone want anything else?